and thank you all for taking the time to join us today and learning about the Blended Capital Fund. I'm Nye Marshall, Program Manager of Business Banking at the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. I work with Christina Fuentes, Vice President of Community Development, and we're just happy to bring forth to you this lending platform that we believe will leverage both our new and existing CDFI and MDI partners. The state has invested $50 million into supporting small businesses through this Blended Capital Fund, and new partners are certainly welcome to assist with this initiative. We also have a great partnership with Calvert Impact, who you will hear from and from who some of you already know. And throughout this presentation, we truly believe that you'll find this new feature to be very innovative, a very innovative platform. And when combined with the Small Business Credit Initiative dollars, will allow our CDFI and MDI partners to further extend their reach in offering support to our small businesses across the state of New Jersey. So with that, I will hand it over to our partners over at Calvert Impact.
Thanks so much, Nye. It's great to be with everyone today. Great to meet those of you who I have not, and great to see those who we've been working with on this. I'm Beth Bafford, lead strategy and new product development at Calvert Impact. And I'm joined by my colleagues and partners, Joe McGinnis, who has been really leading on a lot of the legal and operational aspects of the program, and kind of is working with the state on all sorts of fun things. Sarah Bennett on our team, who I think some of you have spoken with, who is doing kind of our CDFI outreach and support to support CDFIs kind of coming into the program. Maggie Singman is an intern with us for the summer and fall. We'll be working on various aspects of the work. And then our close partners at Community Reinvestment Fund. Dan, do you want to introduce yourself? I feel like I can speak for my colleagues, but I don't want to speak for you.
That's fine. Great to be with everybody today. My name is Dan Moret. I'm the Senior Program Manager at Community Reinvestment Fund for our technology and services offerings. And so we have been privileged to partner with Calvert and many of you on the call on various programs around the country, and excited to bring our expertise to bear in New Jersey.
Wonderful. So we are going to do just a quick walkthrough of the structure of the program. This will be probably very familiar to some of you and new to others. And so feel free to ask questions in the chat, raise your hand, whatever is easiest. Want to make sure that questions are answered. I'll also say that this is the first of many interactions if we want to be working together on this. And so don't feel like you have to get everything answered today. We really want to be working with our CDFI partners to make sure you have the information you need to determine whether or not you're able to and willing to participate. So consider this an intro, and we are happy to follow up with you one-on-one if it's helpful to talk in more detail. So I'll jump in here. So really throughout the pandemic, we have been working on a series of what we called recovery funds, which were programs that were meant to really provide holistic support to CDFI small business lenders so that you all can provide additional support and additional capital to small businesses that you serve. And we are trying to look at how we essentially centralize functions to take some things that are non-core off your plate, but really leave the relationships and the interactions with the small business owners with the local CDFIs. And so this program is meant to really support community lender growth, really looking at how we can help you all serve more business owners, and trying to look at that from a ecosystem perspective, from customer acquisition and marketing to liquidity, product development, operational and technical support, really trying to make this as easy as possible and enable you to better leverage your balance sheet to support new lending. There are some things that we know are really critical to growth that it does not capture, including things like balance sheet equity and additional human capital. Actually, some conversations in the ecosystem about how to work together collaboratively to support additional human capacity, especially for underwriting in these programs. But overall, it's really focused on the lead generation, marketing, technology, and liquidity to allow you to leverage your balance sheet. The program has kind of what we think of as 3 legs of the stool, really focused on how to create the best customer experience for the small businesses and make it as easy as possible for you to reach more of them. So those 3 legs are the capital piece, the capital structure, and essentially what it is we combine the state funds with private capital and use those funds to purchase 80% of every loan every eligible loan made to a small business. And so really trying to get better leverage from your balance sheets in terms of these loan purchases, so that you hold 20% of the loan on a pari passu basis with the 80% sold, and you're getting that the leverage. You retain servicing on the full loan and are paid a servicing fee for that. So retain the relationship, retain kind of control over that, the relationship you have with the borrower, but 80% is sold to the fund so that you can recycle and do additional lending. There's the technology platforms, and it's now 2 platforms. Excitingly, we've got both a customer acquisition platform leveraging Connected Capital, or I think now called CRF Connect, which is the kind of customer intake platform that makes it really easy for small businesses to engage and get matched with a lender. And then there's what we're now calling CRF Exchange, which is the platform we use for the loan sale process to make sure that we are making that process really easy for you, and also collecting all the necessary data points that we need for reporting to the state, and for the state to report back to the Treasury Department for the SSBCI program. And so trying to create a very streamlined and ideally integrated set of technology systems with your core systems so that there is ease in information flow, and trying to take the kind of tech burden off of your plates. Then, obviously those kind of combine, the third leg of the stool is the technical assistance piece. We work with the state to identify technical assistance partners who can help get borrowers credit ready, help be referral partners for you all, so that there is an additional technical assistance ecosystem out there for businesses who might need extra support pre-loan or might need support post-loan. And so really trying to coordinate that. The front-end platform, CRF Connect, allows a potential borrower to connect with both technical services as well as lenders, again, to create kind of a one-stop shop for them and make it as easy as possible. And then I should just say this model, as I mentioned, we've been tweaking and improving over the last 3 years. We have 5 programs that we've run kind of throughout the pandemic, and are currently running, and then really have adapted it to fit the SSBCI model, and certainly to fit New Jersey's local needs. And so trying to take lessons where we can, with things we've seen that worked, but also make sure it's tailored to New Jersey's SSBCI programs and the broader ecosystem of support for small businesses across the state. So as I mentioned, the front end of this is really meant to provide a really easy customer experience for the small businesses, and allows us to market directly, market one website, one link, directly to small business owners through community partners, online, offline, and really trying to create kind of one single one-stop shop for the small business owners. This is powered by this is not what it will be called and not what it will look like, but we're kind of going to work on a program brand, look and feel, and website that will include all of the kind of small business facing messaging, all the information about the loan products, the terms, eligibility, process, and we'll also have this embedded widget on it, which is essentially the pre-application that allows the small business owners to fill out think it's 16 simple questions about their business and get matched with the appropriate lenders and technical service providers. So it's things like, how much do you want to borrow? Where is your business located? How many employees you have? What was your revenue last year? How much are you looking to borrow? What is your kind of self-reported credit score? So trying to collect core information that helps match that applicant with the lender's, what we call the lender's products, so that you are getting essentially kind of a pre-qualified set of leads for the program. On the lender side, on the CDFI side, what you do is set up your products and you select the folks that you want to see. So you can choose geographies that you serve. If you serve certain counties or MSAs, you can select credit score ranges, you can select industries, a whole kind of basically all the questions that are asked. You can select what you want to see and how you want to filter, and the kind of matching engine does the work. I'll pause there. Dan, anything else you want to add on the front end?
No, you covered it really well. I think our mantra is that we try to get the right borrower to the right partner at the right time. And so Beth highlighted the opportunity to match directly with TA providers. And so this is for, we collectively as a group have a mantra around no business left behind. And so for the folks who aren't loan ready yet, or this program is not going to be a fit for them, how do we still provide the opportunity to serve those businesses? And so that's where the TA comes in. And so if they're looking for help with credit counseling or developing a business plan or otherwise, we can directly match folks to providers that can offer those services alongside of the capital providers here on the phone who are going to be able to extend loans and credit to the business owners that fit both program eligibility and your individual credit boxes. So we are really trying to facilitate a very easy user experience for the applicants and the business owners, as well as providing a pipeline to all of you of business owners that fit the type of businesses you're able to serve. So pretending that you're not able to serve restaurants, you can deselect restaurants, and those business owners that own restaurants will not match to your product because that's going to be outside of your ability to serve. So you'll be able to filter for those businesses that fit your needs and the ability that you have to serve. And the folks will just appear in your queue and you'll be able to process them like any of the other deals that you're doing on an everyday basis because of the integrations we offer. So more to come on all of that too, but like Beth said, it's designed to be a very easy interface for both the applicants and the small business owners across the state, as well as you and your teams to not have to have any additional rework involved in the leads coming into your tools. Back to you,
Awesome. Beth. Thank you. Great. So moving into the product side. So what we've done is work closely with our partner CDFI lenders to continue to kind of update and improve the product. Really meant to be a very flexible, easy, straightforward term loan that can be kind of offered to a broad set of business types. So we have 36, 48, 60 and 72 month term options with different interest rates. The rates are set based on prime, but once the loan is made, the interest rate is fixed for the life of the loan. So it is not a floating rate loan. There is no collateral required for eligibility, but there's a blanket UCC on business assets and a personal guarantee for anybody with 20% or more ownership of the business. They're fully amortizing fixed monthly payment loans. Use of proceeds is flexible and can be used for working capital. They will kind of state the use of proceeds at the time of application. No fees. We have the ability for the lender to charge, I think it's up to $250 just for kind of repayment or reimbursement of UCC filing fees and things like that, but trying to keep it very limited on fees, maximum loan amount of $250,000. The eligibility is really focused on the smaller businesses. So no more than 50 employees, less than 10 million in revenue, and we have a set of kind of basic underwriting criteria, and then we work with the CDFIs to look at your standard underwriting, understand how those interact and intersect, so that you're following kind of your your underwriting and comfort levels, but meeting the minimum criteria of the program. Obviously must have operations in New Jersey, and more than 12 months in operations. So that's kind of basic eligibility for the program. And then, as I mentioned, the goal is really, we're working with the state to build out kind of the technical assistance ecosystem as well as the lender ecosystem, so that we're able to have partners who are available to support the small businesses when they come to the platform. One of the benefits of this being a longer term program, the goal is to have this program in the market for at least 8 years, is that you can kind of come in and out of the program depending on if you need access to liquidity, if you need access to leads. And so what we try to do is create a network of lenders and TA providers. So at any one time, we know that there are people there to serve the small businesses that are coming to the platform. And so we look at that network and make sure there's full statewide coverage, full coverage of industries, loan amount and types, so that we know that holistically this program will be able to support businesses no matter when they come to the platform and when they apply. And so that will be both on the lender side and the technical assistance side. And then we have some lenders who have already, who we've worked with in other states, who have already kind of signed up, interested in participating, but really looking to add additional lenders, particularly local lenders who are interested in joining us, wanting to make sure, again, we have full coverage of the state, and are really leveraging the existing networks and relationships that you all have on the ground. And then just a snapshot of the CDFI economics I mentioned briefly, but there is, when you sell a loan, so when you sell the 80% of the loan to the fund, you get a 3.5% origination fee on the full loan amount, and then you get a 1.25% annual servicing fee on the portion sold. So that's an annual fee, and then we have floors set so that we're not disincentivizing small dollar lending. And then, as I mentioned, you hold 20% of the loan amount that you share, kind of pari passu risk with the fund. Just a summary of the timeline. We're doing this outreach now, talking to various lenders, really trying to understand how this fits in with your programs and products. Looking for kind of indication, I would say, the next few weeks to see if this is something that you're interested in, so that we can follow up and provide additional information, walk through the platforms, make sure you have a full understanding of the program, so that we can do the more formal training of CRF Connect, Exchange, share documentation. The main documentation that the CDFIs are signing are a loan purchase agreement, so the terms of the kind of purchase and sale of the asset, a loan servicing agreement, which outlines the servicing relationship on an ongoing basis, and then the technical services agreements, the agreements you sign to access and use the two tech platforms. So those would be the kind of the agreements that we can share, review, walk you through, to make sure those all look good. The goal is to launch the program, make it live for small businesses sometime in mid to late September. And so we are kind of parallel tracking the marketing, branding, and communications process with this process. And then usually we look at doing the first loan purchase cycle somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks after launch, typically when there's the first loans to sell. And then we purchase loans every other week going forward. So make sure that you guys have the liquidity you need for those purchases and recycling funds. That was a lot from me, so I'm going to pause and happy to take questions and either live or in the chat. and see what burning questions are out there.
I don't see anything in the Q&A, but everybody should have the ability to unmute themselves. So if you want to go ahead and do that, if you've got a question, feel free to jump in. Oh,
oh, there we go. So Tammy, who do we contact to indicate interest? The best person would be Sarah on our team. So maybe Sarah, you can put your contact in the chat, and she's happy to have a more in-depth conversation with you on kind of how it fits, answer any questions, and we can go from there.
Yeah.
Joe, did you have something
And
you want to
Sarah,
add?
oh, Beth, I was just going to chime in. This is Sarah. I'm sorry, I'm off camera because I'm having bandwidth issues and have tended to freeze my other calls. So as just to share a little bit about kind of the approval process as an originating CDFI. So the process is actually really quite simple and is similar to if you were applying for a PRI or bank loan. We have a due diligence packet that you complete. I work with you on that in terms of making that as simple as process. We kind of work with the data that you have and fit into what we need to look at. And once I have that information, I do an underwriting using the CAMO framework, which takes just a couple of weeks, and then we are good to go.
Great.
And yes, I'll put my contact in the chat.
Okay, I think I put it in, but you can make sure I spelled everything right. Wonderful. And then we had another question on the general reporting requirements. Joe, do you want to take that one?
Yep. So I'll put these in two buckets. The first is with respect to the loan purchases and loan servicing. So in connection with a sale of a loan to the fund, you will need to collect and complete a template that we provide you with. It's called a loan purchase data file that includes data regarding the borrower, the loan, the demographics of the business ownership. And these are all data fields that we need to collect in order to help the state of New Jersey comply with its obligations to the US Treasury. And so there's a data collection and reporting obligation kind of embedded within each loan origination and then sale to the fund. We also require participating CDFIs to report on their collections on a monthly basis so that we can track the performance of all the loans and kind of issue spot and kind of be supportive as the program kind of marches on. And then aside from that, for all the participating CDFIs, we will ask for quarterly unaudited financials and annual audited financials, which can be delivered directly or via the ERIS library.
Yeah, I would say overall, we try to keep it as streamlined as possible so that everything's built into that, loan sale and loan payment cycles. As Dan mentioned, CRF team can work with you on integrations between your systems so that there's kind of API integrations and you can just kind of send information from your servicing systems over to the exchange. Dan, I don't know if you want to, I get dangerous when I start talking about this. So I don't know if you want to
No,
talk
that's
about
absolutely right. Is that, there are opportunities in place to facilitate a connection between your core systems and the systems that we use in the fund, be they your CRM and the systems that you are using to take in leads and work with borrowers, and then obviously your servicing systems as you're receiving payments from borrowers. So all of that is a discussion for another time. No, it's available. It is also available, you can also do it more analog and just, you can fill out these tools within the user interface of the platforms that we are working with. And so if you do not have the technical capabilities or understanding to facilitate an API connection, that is not a gating agent into the program. We will be happy to work with you on, the process for filling out the loan purchase files, the loan remittance payments files and stuff to be able to, make sure that we are taking all comers and that technological sophistication or capabilities is not anything that you need to worry about if you want to participate in the program.
Great, thank you. And then Brad asked about initial allocations. Yeah, so what we're going to do, Brad, is just kind of see the full group of CDFIs that are interested in participating, making sure we know what that looks like. And we usually try to get a sense for expected kind of monthly or quarterly volume so that we can determine the initial allocation. So we don't have those right now because it'll depend on how many lenders are participating. But the goal is to have a sense of that, I would say probably mid-August.
Great, thank you.
Of course. Any other, oh, where we do the qualifications for a loan? Yeah, great question, Ryan. So what we can do is send you the program operations manual, which is essentially the kind of full document that details all the operational components and the product eligibility components. And as I mentioned in the kind of walkthrough, we essentially set minimum requirements on kind of eligibility and underwriting, and then we review and work with you on your underwriting requirements. And so that we, have a sense of some level of consistency across the program. And so we can share, if you send us a note, we can share the operations manual. You can see the full kind of term sheet and eligibility requirements. And I'll put, I'm going to volunteer Joe. I'm going to put Joe's contact in.
You've been voluntold, Joe. The other thing that I was going to offer, Ryan, is that the CRF Connect tool that will serve as the front door will also help provide you some level of certainty that, all right, I'm not getting industries, credit scores, revenue thresholds that you are not able to serve. And so that is self-reported data. So it needs to be taken with, and investigated upon. But the idea would be that you're getting leads in the front door who are interested in program loans that you're able to serve.
Yeah, and I think program-wide, the only restrictions are like industries that the state is not able to support. So it's typically, gambling, sometimes racetracks, sometimes not racetracks. We'll have to look. I forget of this program, but Joe, you might have a list in front of you. But
yeah, activities prohibited by federal law, gambling activities, or deriving more than 1/3 of annual revenues from gambling, speculative activities that profit from fluctuations in price, pyramid sales. So yeah, fairly straightforward. I'll send this over to you, Ryan. We can connect.
Wonderful. Any other questions from the crew? I think we don't want to bombard you with information, but we also are happy to follow up with additional information. So if you do want to see the operations manual or drafts of any, or the kind of templates of any of the agreements, feel free to reach out to our team. Happy to share those. We can send around the deck if you want to be able to share internally. So here for anything you guys need. Just wanted to make sure everybody had a high level overview, and excited to dig in more as we go forward. Wonderful. Well, Nai, I'll kick it back over to you unless there's other questions that folks have.
No, thank you again for another great presentation. The great partnership just echoes the simple, streamlined process and ability to just service all of our small businesses and with a wholesome approach. So I just encourage you, if you have additional questions, definitely you can reach out to me as well. We also have a inbox for business banking at NJEDA.gov that you can send your questions to, and we can filter those to our team over at Calvert. Should be something that we cannot answer. So I thank you all for joining the call, and we certainly look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you all so much. Looking forward to it. Great to see everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.